Good.
But what about when you're under attack? How about showing us how you use distractor when you're under attack?
Yeah, because what goes on the other end of blamer? Blamer is it's your fault. So what will be on the other end of blamer? What distractor. So if you get a heckler, what tier category is a heckler going to use? Blamer. So what I would do first is I'd actually ignore it. Because normally it's a call for attention. If they don't get any, then they just, they realize they're not going to get some. But then if they continue doing it, then what you do is you do distractor, but not to the heckler. You do distractor to the rest of the group, saying like, sorry about him, it's not my fault, it's not me, it's him. Yeah. Which will start to have the group turn against the heckler. Yeah. Notice that was actually a heckler there rather than just somebody asking difficult questions. Because that's different. Yeah? So a heckler is somebody who has the intention of distracting, disturbing, or disrupting your presentation or training. Yeah? So first thing I do is ignore it. Next I'd do is distractor. If they continue to do it, then I think there's a number of strategies for that, which is, I think you're asking me about this at the last break, so let's talk about it now. General rules I would operate on is, and I learned this from a movie called Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze, where Patrick Swayze is training bouncers at this club that's got a lot of problems. He says there are only 2 rules to bouncing: always be nice, and always take it outside. So if you've got somebody who's disrupting your training, if you can, and it's not always possible, if you can, the next break, take them to one side and say, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you are disrupting the presentation, you are disrupting the training. If you continue doing that, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Normally what I find is quite often they don't actually realize that what they're doing is distracting. So they go, I'm sorry, If they then continue again, if I've got the opportunity, and obviously it depends on the structure of what you're doing, I give people 3 strikes and you're out. So they get 2 pleasant conversations. If they don't change what they're doing after that, then it's fair play. It's totally open season for the 3rd strike. If I can, the 3rd strike will be during a break, and literally what I'll do is I'll come up to them and say, is that your briefcase? Yes. I said, can you bring it with you? I say, why? I just want to have a chat with you. And I'll take them outside, and then I'll tell them that they're not coming back in. Give them their money back and say, bye, you're out of here. Which sometimes they're not always okay about that, I did have one guy, this is a funny one. This was actually on a Presenting Magically. And it was just after lunch on the first day, and this guy had been disrupting in the morning, and I'd handled it. And then he went into the exercise after break, and he was completely disrupting the exercise. He was totally disrespectful of the coaching assistant. So I thought, right, this guy's out of here. So I said, no, let's just go and have a chat. Let's bring your stuff with you. I said, I don't think this is a training for you. So you're leaving the training. And he went beetroot red, and he said, what gives you the right to tell me that I'm leaving the training? I said, one thing and one thing only. It's my training. I can tell anybody to leave. And on this training, it's your turn. So you're out of here. And he said, I am going to have you thrown out of this hypnosis organization, this hypnosis organization, this hypnosis organization, and this hypnosis organization. And I said, you can't do that. He said, oh, yes, I can. I said, no, you can't. What makes you think I can't get you thrown out of all of those organizations? I said, because I'm not in any of them. He said, well, I'll make sure that you never get to join. I said, have you ever wondered why I'm not a member of any of them? It's because I don't want to be a member of any of them. Then he said, well, I'm going to go to the newspapers and I'm going to write articles of complaint about you and get them published in all the newspapers. And I said, it's going to have to be a very boring day in the world for you to get an article about David Shepard throws this guy out of Presenting Magically published in the newspapers, I just can't imagine that. Page 3 of the Mail. Ooh, David Shepard's thrown somebody out of Presenting Magically. Well, I'll get away. How dare he? I don't think people would be interested, quite honestly. So he, ushered him out of the building, but he wasn't okay about it. I'd have that sometimes, and sometimes and then I have to deal with the group and say, listen, I've asked this person to leave and all that kind of thing. If you've timed it right, and if it really was a problem, I've found that every single time I've done that, I've got confirmation from the group, because people in the group have come up to me and thanked me. Oh, thank you for asking him to leave. He was because normally what they've been doing is doing weird things during the breaks and all kinds of, as well. If you have to do it in front of the group, the most important thing is that you get your timing right. And that is, you calibrate the rest of the group as far as the other people in the group getting annoyed with the heckler. Because if you do it too early, they'll side with the heckler. And they'll go, well, that's a bit harsh. That's not really fair. He's paid good money to be here, just like the rest of us. And I don't think you should really treat him that way. So what you want to do is you wait until you think, if this happens again, somebody in the group is going to take on the heckler, which you don't want to have happen, because that means you lose control. So when you're going, okay, if this happens again, somebody in the group's going to deal with it. When it happens again, you deal with it. And at that point in time, I think you just slam them. And I just go like, look, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm going to throw you out. And if I have to do that physically, I will do. And what happens is that there's other people in the group will go like, and I'll be helping you. So it's like, okay. And then you go up to them at break and go, okay, you're out of here. I think the thing you've got to realize is that when you're the presenter and the trainer, you actually have the divine right to only have the people in your audience that you want to have there. And if there's somebody who is not playing by your rules, then you have absolutely every right to get them out. And if they won't go, then, I've had hotel security chuck people out because they wouldn't go and all kinds of stuff. It doesn't happen very often. But sometimes you have to do it. And there'll always be the first time. And you always think, first time you're going to go, oh, God, we're going to have to throw him out. And it always, if it's a genuine problem, and 3 strikes and you're out, I think is like possibly overly generous in some situations. So if it happens the third time, then you're pretty sure that it's the right thing, but it's still not comfortable. And though you'll notice it changes the entire dynamic of the thing as soon as you do it.